Welcome back to Not Theoretical. I'm Lena.
And I'm Dan. Here on Not Theoretical, we're all about taking those big, sometimes complex ideas and distilling them into practical, real-world steps. Our goal is to help you turn insight into lasting action.
And today we're tackling a skill we all use, whether we realize it or not: negotiation. But we're not talking about high-stakes corporate deals only. We're diving into how the principles of effective negotiation apply to your everyday conversations, from talking to your boss to making plans with friends. If you've ever walked away from a conversation thinking, "Why did I say that?" Or, "Did I even understand what they needed?" Logically, then this episode is for you. You might even want to share this one with anyone who feels like their conversations sometimes go off the rails.
Lena, I think we've all been there. That moment when emotions just take over in a discussion. It's like your brain goes offline and your mouth just starts moving.
Absolutely, Dan. And that's exactly why the first concept we need to unpack is cultivating self-awareness. It's about having an internal radar for your own thoughts, feelings, and tendencies. Are you someone who gets flustered under pressure? Do certain words instantly put you on the defensive?
It's like knowing your car and your driving style intimately before you even start the engine. If you know you tend to speed or get distracted, you can prepare for that. Let's take Maria, who was prepping for a salary negotiation. She knew she tended to get anxious and undersell herself when challenged. So, she prepared a list of her concrete achievements.
Right. When her manager questioned one of her achievements, instead of backing down, she took a breath and calmly referred to her notes, highlighting a 15% increase in efficiency across the team. That's the power of self-awareness in action. You're not judging yourself. You're just getting crucial information to make conscious choices. Moving on, it's easy to think every conversation is a battle, or on the flip side, that you always have to give in to keep the peace. But the truth is, effective interaction often means balancing competition and collaboration.
It's not about winning at all costs or always conceding. Think of it like two chefs in a kitchen. If they only compete, they'll hoard ingredients. But if they collaborate, sharing expertise, they can create a fantastic multi-course meal that neither could have achieved alone. We saw this with Liam, a sales manager, and Sarah, a procurement lead. Liam's initial instinct was to push for the highest price.
But he sensed Sarah's budget pressure and desire for a long-term partnership. So he shifted. Instead of just pushing for price X, he proposed a slightly adjusted price for a longer contract and their premium support package. He found a way to address his company's revenue goals and Sarah's need for value and budget flexibility. Both sides walked away feeling good.
All right, let's talk about shaping the discussion from the get-go. This brings us to making the first move. It's not always about making the first offer, but strategically setting the initial framework.
Exactly. Imagine dropping an anchor in the sea. Where you drop it defines where your boat can move. Your first move in a discussion is like dropping that anchor. It's about being prepared and intentional. David, a project manager, is a great example. He was initiating a meeting about a new project timeline.
Instead of just presenting a predetermined schedule, he started by expressing excitement and asking for the team's initial thoughts on milestones and roadblocks. He mentioned a proposed completion date, but emphasized his desire to hear their perspectives to ensure realism. By framing it collaboratively, he subtly guided the team towards an engaged, ownership-driven approach from the start.
And sometimes you hit a wall in a discussion where neither side seems willing to budge. That's often where empathy and creative problem-solving come into play. It's not just feeling sorry for someone, but truly understanding their perspective, their needs, fears, and motivations.
Think of it like neighbors arguing about a fence. Instead of just sticking to property lines, if one learns the other is worried about their small dog escaping, they might creatively solve it by building a higher, more secure fence together. That addresses the underlying concern. Emily, head of marketing, and Ben, the finance director, showed this perfectly during a budget negotiation.
Emily wanted a larger budget for a campaign. Ben insisted on cost controls. Instead of just reiterating positions, Emily asked Ben about the company's key financial pressures. Once she understood the recent dip in profits and shareholder expectations, she shifted. She proposed a phased rollout, a smaller initial investment, increasing funding based on early success metrics. She empathized with his financial concerns and creatively proposed a solution that addressed both their needs.
And finally, for any deal to truly last, both parties need to feel good about it. This brings us to creating mutual satisfaction. You don't want to win in the short term, only to damage the relationship or cause problems down the road.
It's like two gardeners who both need different types of soil. Instead of arguing over limited amounts, they work together to share resources and even trade, ensuring both their gardens thrive. We saw this with Sarah and Tom negotiating a used car price. Sarah felt Tom's price was too high.
Instead of just going back and forth on offers, Sarah said, "My budget is X. Is there anything else we could discuss to bridge this gap? The tires are a bit worn. If you replace them, that would add significant value for me." Tom surprisingly agreed to replace the tires, and they met in the middle on the price. By focusing on adding value beyond just the price, they found a solution that left both feeling satisfied.
So, to tie it all together, cultivating self-awareness helps you manage your internal landscape. Balancing competition and collaboration helps you navigate the interaction effectively. Making thoughtful first moves shapes the discussion. Using empathy and creative problem-solving unlocks mutually beneficial solutions. And always aiming for mutual satisfaction builds lasting outcomes. These aren't isolated skills. They're interconnected, helping you turn insight into lasting action.
We've only scratched the surface here. For a deeper dive into these concepts, with more examples and additional actionable steps, be sure to check out our specific companion article on the Not Theoretical Substack.
Next up on Not Theoretical. What do a faulty thermostat, a luxury sofa, and a vegan dinner menu have in common? They all reveal how hidden risks and quiet rules decide who pays the price. If you've ever felt like you're playing a game where others already know the ending, our next podcast is the one you've been waiting for. That's our discussion for today. Thanks for tuning in to Not Theoretical.
Until next time, remember that every conversation is an opportunity to negotiate better, not just for what you want, but for lasting positive outcomes.